Hello and welcome to In Focus. My name is Jim Blaskowitz, and on this week's episode of Inside BU, we focus on the history of Centennial Hall. Check it out. Centennial Hall, which was originally called Centennial Gymnasium, has an interesting history. It was built as the main gymnasium on campus. Before this, the primary gymnasium on campus opened in 1894 and was attached to Waller Hall, which no longer stands today. The Waller Gymnasium suited the needs of students until the university decided it needed a bigger gymnasium, specifically one that could hold spectators for basketball, but also one that could handle a full health education program, which is what the Bloomsburg State Teachers College had in the 1930s. In 1937, the university was granted nearly $600,000 for a building project on campus. In January 1938, the plans were approved for many buildings to be built on campus, including the Centennial Gymnasium. When it was finished in 1939, it was a state-of-the-art athletic facility, which included not only a gymnasium, but also a swimming pool. Unfortunately, the money ran out before the building could get properly wired with electricity and power, so it sat unused for a couple years until finally being opened in February 1942. Upon its opening, the first basketball game was played in there, which resulted in a Bloomsburg victory. The building quickly became used during its first years. The naval training program was here on campus to train for World War II, and the trainees actually used the pool to train for combat situations. However, the main use of the building was for the athletic events and also for physical education classes up through the 1950s. As the school grew in the 1960s, the university started to use Centennial for more purposes. In 1957, the gymnasium was used for the commencement ceremony, and this trend continued until 1967. The gym was also used for dances, concerts, and it became a popular social area on campus.
So Centennial Gymnasium was, in the 1960s, was used for concerts, it was used for dances, it was used for gym classes, but it was also the site of the first actual student protest in the history of the university. In April of 1965, after a concert in the gym, the students who were there decided not to leave, and so they had a sit-in, and they stayed all night and they aired their grievances. They came up with a list of about 20 different issues that they wanted addressed by the administration. These are the original typed minutes of that meeting, listing all the grievances of the students dealing with the student life, with the restrictions on women, the students having to dress properly to go to the commons to eat, with men not being able to wear beards, just a number of issues, some smaller, some greater. But this is what was presented to the president of the college, Harvey Andrus, and a number of them were addressed, and eventually all of them were met or changed in some way. But it all began with this first demonstration held on the college campus in 1965.
What was needed on campus was more classrooms and lecture halls, so in fall of 1999, the university began to renovate Centennial Gymnasium. The whole north end of the building was taken off and reconstructed. They decided that since the alumni had such an attachment to the building, that they would leave the side that faces 2nd Street untouched. The university spent a couple of years remodeling the building, and in September 2001, the new building was dedicated and was called Centennial Hall. The Centennial part comes from its original construction, which happened in 1939. This year marked the centennial year of the founding of Bloomsburg University. Centennial has since found a new life and a new use as a classroom building on campus.